Hey guys, and welcome to another list. Today I'm going to list my top 5 favorite Super Nintendo games. I already did top 10 favorite PS4 games, and now I'm going to do top 5 favorite Super Nintendo games. I still own Super Nintendo actually. It's in the attic. This is my Super Nintendo. See? It's older than me actually. Yep. So yeah, now that you've seen my Super Nintendo, I'm going to talk a little bit about my history with Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I love Mario franchise, Metroid, Donkey Kong. I love all these franchises. Yeah. And Super Nintendo is likely my favorite Nintendo console of all time. Many of its games have aged so well. This is only a top 5 favorite, but considering that I say those 5 games are very comparable in quality to my top 4 favorite PS4 games, so yeah, they're probably better than many of the games on my best PS4 list. It's a huge achievement because, as I said, it's a shorter list, but all those 5 games are super incredible games. So, let's get to it! At number 5, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Yeah, I love Mario franchise, and this I personally love a lot more than Super Mario World, which says a lot because I love Super Mario World. But I say this is even better. It's about baby Mario going on a Yoshi to rescue baby Luigi. And I love that. The boss battles in these games are great. And the graphics basically look like drawings by a little kid. Yeah. They basically look like drawings drawn by a talented little kid. I heard those graphics were like that on purpose. And it's so creative, so great, so amazing. I love that. I also love many different Yoshis you go on in this game. The gameplay is really cool. The way your Yoshi can eat the enemies and then have the eggs is great. But I'm going to again go back to the graphics that look like drawn by a little talented kid, because this is just amazing. So, Yoshi's Island at number 5. At number 4, Super Metroid. Yeah. That's a fantastic game. Lots of people probably consider it as number 1 on Super Nintendo. But I disagree. Yeah, an amazing game, which is why it's on this list. And yeah, it's basically a science fiction game. You play as Samus, and you basically explore this desolated area full of monsters. And you have to navigate the whole thing and find your way, find many upgrades. Yeah, it's really amazing. I've actually played this game very recently because when I was a kid, I didn't have this game on my Super Nintendo. I ordered it only 2 years ago, but I'm honestly not surprised it's so popular because it's a really amazing game. And I also love the boss battles in this game. Ridley, for example, or Mother Brain, or the Guardians, or this Cthulhu-like monster. Yeah. And I also love that this game is scary in some ways. It's kind of like... It gives me somewhat alien vibes. So, Super Metroid at number 4. And now, we're coming to some of the greatest games of all time. Like, the top 2 are in my top 10, are in my top 5 favorite video games of all time. But this, number 3, is also pretty amazing. And number 3 is Super Castlevania 4. Like, I'm a fan of Castlevania games. And Super Castlevania 4 was my favorite Castlevania for a very long time. Though recently Symphony of the Night, the fan favorite, has really grew on me. But that's a different story. So yeah, Super Castlevania 4 is so fantastic. Like, I think it's much better than the aforementioned Metroid, which says a lot. Like, the graphics are amazing, the sprites are great, and the environments are also very immersive. Like, I love the dark fantasy, how you go on a mission to kill Dracula and fight lots of horror monsters like the Mummy, the Frankenstein, or the bed made out of gold coins and jewels. Yeah, and the music here is just fantastic. Like, it's probably one of the best musics in any video game. And the boss battles are probably the best boss battles in the history of Super Nintendo. With my favorite boss being probably this knight Sir Dracul. Or Death. I also really love Death. So yeah, Super Castlevania 4. Incredible game. And now we're coming to my top 2 favorite Super Nintendo games. My top 2 favorite SNES games. Like, both of those games are in my top 5 favorite video games of all time. Both of them. And number 2 is Final Fantasy VI. Or Final Fantasy III, as it was released in the United States back when it was first released. This game is literally one of the greatest games ever made, both in my opinion and objectively. Like, as far as the story goes, it probably has the best story in any video game history. Like, you play as those characters, very amazing characters by the way, and you fight an empire, but then Kefka, the villain, one of the best video game villains by the way, actually succeeds in his goal to destroy the world, which was a pretty bold move to do back then especially. And the second half of the game is the team regrouping in an apocalyptic world and defeating Kefka once and for all. And all the characters are amazing, with my favorite being probably Celeste. I just love her character development, and she's just great. I also love how each character has different abilities. Some are better at magic, some at fighting, etc. And I just love using different characters for different missions, developing their abilities. Yeah. But the main thing about the game I love is what I already said, the story. The story might probably be the best story in any video game. And if it wasn't for my number 1, this game would easily be number one. But my number one is Donkey Kong Country Trilogy. Yeah, like those games are my childhood. Donkey Kong Country is the very first video game I've played in my life when I was like 3-4 years old. As I said, the Super Nintendo that I just showed you is older than me, and I remember I had all those 3 games since I was a kid. I mean the first 2, and then the third one came out in the last days of Super Nintendo. Though me and my family, we never got Nintendo 64. We stuck with Super Nintendo, and we had all 3 of those games. And as I said, nostalgia largely plays a big part here. If it wasn't for nostalgia, this game could have been like number 3 on this list. But because of nostalgia, it's just number 1, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. For a long time it was actually the favorite game of all time. The only reason it's not now, it goes now to The Witcher. The only reason it's not my favorite game of all time now is because I realize it's largely due to nostalgia. And objectively speaking, I do think I kinda enjoy The Witcher now kinda more. But as I said, I'm now speaking more about objectivity nostalgia than the game itself, because the game is still very amazing. Like, the 3D graphics are really cool, the Nintendo spirit very much is there. The game is really funny too. The characters are great, and the boss battles are pretty fun, and the music is great. Yeah, and everything about those 3 games is amazing. But my favorite of the 3 is likely the second one, Diddy Kong's Quest. Like, it has the darkest tone, it's the most challenging. And also, I remember even liking it most in my childhood, and it transferred onto now. So yeah, the Donkey Kong Country Trilogy, my favorite SNES games, and some of my favorite video games of all time. Largely due to nostalgia, but still. There you have it. My top 5 favorite Super Nintendo games. So what did you think of my list? Did you like it? What are your favorite SNES games? And if you like the video, please press the like button, please subscribe to this channel, and I will talk to you soon in another video. I will say right now, an Obi-Wan Kenobi review is coming soon on this channel. So yeah, please, I'll talk to you later. Bye!